So welcome back to this tutorial, and this is all about conditional statements, and today we'll look at nested if statement. Okay, so if you are so keen in the previous assignment and the if else tutorial, you can see that if someone types in 101, sometimes we get a positive answer. Oh, we can grade for this, we can get a grade for this. Okay, so as long as the marks is greater than 80 in the first case, so even 200 is greater than 80, even 500, 600, even 1 billion is greater than 80. So that's why I'm saying if you tried the first case with all results, you can easily see that anything above 80 can be given A++. Okay, so if we print our C++ here, oh, it is our A+, like if the mark is greater than 80, then we can easily return A++. So if I enter a random number like this, so we are returning A++. So you can easily see that this is an error because someone can't add a mark like this. So what we do, we need to fix some condition that if you type kind of mark, we simply say marks out of range. Then as well, if someone enters maybe less than 80 here, we can easily tell them that, you know what, the marks is less than expected. So how do we do that? We achieve that using the nested if. So the syntax for nested if is simple. You just give the if and its condition, okay, like that. Then we open the body, and inside this body we give another if with a condition still, like this. So I want this to be inside the, so, and this is inside our outer function. So in other words, it's like having a row by column in Excel. So the same way we're doing it here is we simply come first check the condition in here, and then we check the outer condition. So if this is true, we proceed and execute this. Okay, now inside here we need to print, maybe let's say execute this block. Yes, so we execute this block as long as our condition is right. Okay, so press shift, close your block like this. So this will execute if the given condition inner here is right and the outer one is right as well. Okay, so we got the next one. Now if you need something to check for this block only, then you have to include an else part here. And if you only need to check this block first, then we need to add another brace. Let me copy this one and paste it here. So if we include an else part here, then it means this else, let me comment this checks the inner block. This checks the inner block. So this else here checks the inner block. Then we have the second else, which is here, and then this one checks the outer block, like that. So in our previous example, we had our int marks, and we are prompting someone to enter their mark. So assume someone, we are comparing marks to be greater than 80. So if we are checking against 80 like this, and then the inner one we are checking against 100 like this, but in this case it has to be less or equal to 100, like that. So we say the outer block, our range was beginning at 81, then ending at 100. That's why we have greater or equal to inclusive. So it means the first value here is 81, and then the last value is 100. So this, what does this inner block do? This one checks that if someone enters maybe 101, it's no longer in this range, so it is out of range. So you can simply print your message here that maybe mark out of range like this. So in other words, the moment you enter 101, it's no longer in this range, it's out of range. So this else corresponds to the inner if. Then if we also want to test for this, maybe someone enters 79 or 80 soft, then it's out of range. Okay, so what we can do, we simply print here message and we say max too small. So if someone enters 79 or 80, cause 80 here is not inclusive, then that mark is too small. Okay, then in our inner block here, remember we were only printing the grade. So grade was A plus, like that. So if someone scores between 81 and 100, then you have A plus. But if you enter a mark that is greater than 100, then it means it is out of range. And if you enter marks less than 80, then also it is too small for expression. So if we can write this in C++, I already demonstrated this one using that if someone enters 1 billion like this, still it will print A plus. Okay, because this 1 billion itself is greater than 80. Still, if someone enters now, let's say 80, nothing is returned. Why? 80 is out of range. The moment you don't see greater signs, it means with equal signs, it means 80 at the right is not considered to be part of our execution. So we want to add something. I'm gonna copy this one. I add an inner block of if, and then inside that block we need to return this A plus. Okay, so we first evaluate for this. If it's true, we also execute the inner block. If it's true, then we print this. Okay, so this becomes 100, and we change the greater sign to less sign, like this. So if our max is greater than or equal to 80, then we print them. No, if our max is greater or equal to 80, we proceed and also check for this. If it is less or equal to 100, let's say someone enters maybe 81, so you can see 81 is greater than 80, and as well 81 is less than 100. So we print this statement else. Now if we have an else here and we have a C out like this, then we can say out of range. So this else will only execute for only this. So if someone now enters greater than 100, then we'll see this message. So this else only corresponds to the inner block. That's why I'm pinning it after this closing brace. Then if you also want an else for the 80, we can easily say mark too small, like this. So this will be executed for the outer block. So in other words, if you enter something like 79, then you expect such a message. Then if you enter like 101, you expect this message. But if both conditions satisfy, then you expect this inner message. So let's try this. If I enter 79, then max too small, meaning they're executing this code only. Okay, if you enter something like 1M is 6 zeros, like that, then max, it is out of range, so we're executing that.